Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Kenrick, and this is...
I'm Brittany.
And we're the Dailey family. All right, so we just gonna get into it, man. This is new to the both of us, so y'all might see us smiling, see us laughing. We have no social media at all, but the purpose of this video is to uplift God and, you know, just let some people know what God has done in our life. About 4 years ago, we were staying in an apartment, had 2 kids at the time, and I was addicted to drugs. You know, I'm not gonna stay in that, but you know, I was addicted to drugs, not like crack or nothing like that. Weed, ecstasy, Molly, you know, stuff of that nature. And I ended up getting injured on the job, couldn't work. So I kind of looked at it. Now I look back, it was God's way of sitting me down. And I'm gonna kind of give brief points on what was happening while we were in the house. So, you know, like I said, I was hooked on drugs, couldn't work because I got injured on the job all at the same time. My wife was a praying woman. I was doing whatever I felt to do. And it was awful. But in that moment while we were in that house, I could remember my car getting repossessed. Her car had just stopped working. My car gets repossessed. And her cousin stayed upstairs. Her cousin comes knock on the door. Boom, boom. Hey, your car getting repossessed? Most embarrassing moment ever. You know, somebody come knock on the door and tell you your car getting repossessed. She like, you want to go get your car? I say, no, it's all good. I've been behind on payment, so let them get it. So I'm super embarrassed at this point. I go in the restroom. My wife has no clue what I'm about to do. What I'm about to say, I'm not that kind of person, but for my family, I was willing to do whatever I had to do. So I go in the bathroom. I take 4 or 5 ecstasy pills at one time. Bloop. And she knew I was mad. She brought me 7 scriptures. Read those scriptures, and this never happened. Read those 7 scriptures, man, and just like that, the weed that I had left, the ashtrays, the lighters, the rest of the ecstasy pills, all gets flushed down the toilet. Boom. God delivered me within a blink of an eye, just like that. We both began to get into our Bibles real heavy. I mean, so heavy where we weren't even paying the kids any attention. And we were listening to TD Jakes every day, all day, 24 hours in a day. At least 18 of those hours was strictly watching sermons and reading the Bible. And I could just remember sitting in that house at that point, have no vehicle to go anywhere, can't go anywhere, sitting in the house for hours, weren't talking to any family member, my family nor her family. Skin to change tone because we in the house so long. But had a dog. We had a Maltese. What kind of dog was that?
Maltese and a Shih Tzu mixed.
Maltese and a Shih Tzu mix. we didn't even have enough money to feed our own self, let alone a dog. So we would sit in that house and eat like, you know, we were on food stamps at the moment. At the time, we were on food stamps, and she had it mapped out. She would, she had it mapped out like, you know, we would go to the grocery store one time a month, get all the food. She would cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. And then when that food would run out, we had $5. We would stretch those $5. I would go to the store and get a carton of eggs, rice,
a
drink,
and a pack of cookies,
and a pack of oatmeal, iced oatmeal cookies, just to keep my son happy. Because you know he was like six or seven at the time. We had a younger daughter. She was
maybe 4 months.
Yeah, 4 to 6 months, something like that. And that's what we would eat, you know, during those times. And I would never forget, her sister pops up. And we didn't have laundry detergent. We didn't have no toiletries, no dog food. We didn't talk to anybody at this point. We weren't talking to any family members because we were trying to really keep everything brushed under the rug. And her sister comes, knocks on the door, and she walks in with dog food, toiletries, dish detergent, everything we didn't have. So this is like the first...
almost like the first encounter where we're literally like, okay.
What the Bible talks about, like manna. We were like, how did she know what to bring? And we didn't tell her. We didn't talk to anybody. So how would she know exactly what to bring in here at this moment? So we like shocked at this point, like, man, like God is like me. I was like, man, God is really real. Like, I ain't never seen nothing like this before. So, boom. I'm kind of rambling. Like, it was so much. I'm trying to think back. I can remember my little sister coming over, and she was like, you know, y'all good? I was like, yeah, we good. We good, you know? Trying to play it off. And she comes and she brings, what was it? $100, $200. She was like, man, the Lord put it on my heart to give y'all this money. So we like, nah, sis, we good. She like, no. She said, I don't know what's going on. She said, but y'all got to take this money. I know what God told. So we like, all right. So boom, we like, she walk out the door, man. We about, I'm literally like ecstatic at that point. So that was that moment. So, and let me kind of rewind a little bit. I was going through a lawsuit. I got burned by concrete really bad, so that's why I couldn't work, couldn't do nothing. And we get an eviction notice. So my car gets repossessed, on food stamps. Food run out real fast, because you sitting in the house, you ain't gonna do nothing but eat. You know, I wasn't doing drugs anymore, so I replaced that with eating. So I would just eat all day long. And so we get an eviction notice. So once we get that eviction notice, I'm believing in God. Can't do nothing though, but I'm sitting in the house. Oh man, Brittany, I'm telling you, the lawsuit gonna come through, gonna be millionaires. You know, everything gonna be good. And
which it was $1 million case, but God said he wasn't giving that to us right now because we weren't ready for it.
So that happened. So we get an eviction notice. We go to court. What they give us, 30 days, however long the court extends your stay, you know, within the home or whatever. So we get that, go to court, come back, I'm like, Brittany, I said, man, 30 days, 60 days, whatever it was. I'm like, man, that's enough time for God. Like, I ain't tripping. I know the lawsuit gonna come through. So I'm steady talking to the lawyer. He telling me this, telling me that. So we literally get down to 3 days left. I'm like, man,
That's still enough.
that's enough time. That 3 days. The Bible talk about 3 days. So we sitting in there. We down to the day we got to leave. So I was like, man, Brittany, it's time to start packing. Don't have any money. I called my dad. My dad buys us a U-Haul. She's pregnant. We find out she's pregnant while we evicted. Car getting repossessed. Don't really have any family in our corner like that because we were kind of, no income at all. So get the U-Haul. I literally unload the house by myself. Whole house by myself because she was pregnant. Didn't really want her to do a whole lot. Get all the stuff out of the house. And mind you, we were kind of weren't talking to her family at the time. So 2 days before the U-Haul incident, her and her mom gets on, I guess, kind of get back on good terms. Because while they on the phone, I'm sitting there like, man, this really finna happen. Like, we finna get evicted and we gotta go and stay
with the people that we really weren't in good relationship with at the time.
Yeah, so it was like, man, like, this is crazy. Like, we got to move. My cousin come picks me up. We go and get my son from school because we didn't have a vehicle. Her sister was dropping my son off to school. My cousin was picking me up to pick my son up from school. So we go and get my son. As a man, my son come home and he's looking like, what's going on? He's 6 or 7. He's like, what are we doing? So me as a father got to tell my son, we got to leave. You know, we getting evicted. He breaks down crying. I want to cry, but I got to be strong for my family. And it was difficult, and it was a lot more that happened in that house, but that's just like a briefing of that, that situation, the beginning. So, we go and stay with her parents for almost a year. And, we got an eviction on our credit, a repossession on our credit. So we're like, man, how in the world are we going to even get a place to stay? Like, we kind of in a hole, I end up getting a job. And, a few months later, we're like, you know what, let's go to some apartments to try to see if we can get in. We go to this apartment that we're in now. And
she tells make a long story short, we were waiting to basically see the apartments, wait to talk to the person. And of course we have our kids with us. So as I'm changing one kid in the car, a person walks by and it's a relative. And the whole time not knowing they work at this complex. So God just set it up anyways. But fast forward, we move in. Of course, the rent is out the roof. We've never experienced paying anything above $600. And it's like $500 more added onto that, might as well say. But throughout that whole process, it's basically been to where we've elevated since. And just fast forwarding up until this point, God has just done so much. It's really been so much that God has been allowing us to do that is sort of overwhelming. And it's
look, gotta rewind. So while we were in our old apartment, we would write like visions, we would write like whatever download that God would give us, like, okay, we want to go and feed the homeless. We're gonna go and feed the homeless. We're gonna make them T-shirts that say X, Y, and Z. We're gonna
start a building that's for children.
We actually drew a building. We're gonna bring kids in from the ages of 5 to 13 and talk to them about the Word of God, and teach them like life principles and stuff of that nature. So we would write all this stuff down.
In the middle of our eviction.
While we were down in the valley, we would write all of this stuff down. Had no clue. Well, at the time, we thought the lawsuit was going to be the way it was going to happen. But, not mad at the attorney or anything. Long story short, attorney was being an attorney, played us. We got like, about $6,000. It was $1 million case. I did all the work. He didn't have to do a single thing. He would ask me for, well, you're gonna have to get this, and I got everything. I found the company's insurance through the internet, everything. He didn't have to do a single thing. So long story short, that happened. Didn't get the amount of money we were supposed to get, which, looking back, we weren't ready for it. I was talking about buying Maseratis, I was talking about buying Maseratis. I was talking about doing this, doing that, going to pay cash for a home, this. So, none of that stuff happened, but we roll out of this stuff down even in the midst of that.
And that was 5 years ago?
Yeah, 4 to 5 years ago. So fast forward to now, I went and worked at, we're from Mobile, Alabama, by the way. We have this thing called the Greek Fest. And it's where they cook like all type of Greek food. And, it was extra income. So I went to work it for about a week. And once it was over, they had like tons and tons of food left. So once I left, I was like, Britt, I said, man, I think we need to go downtown and start feeding the homeless. So, don't know where I know how the thought come to me, it was all God. So long story short, we go and get 3 like small turkeys. I grill the 3 small turkeys. She cooks like green beans, mac and cheese, cake, rolls, and we make 35 to-go boxes, and we go downtown. Have no clue what we're doing. We go downtown, we ride around. So the first people we walk up on was like, hey, sir, would you like a plate of food to eat? And the guy looks at us and say, man, y'all are reading people's mind. And we're like, huh? He said, man, we just prayed for food, man. We just prayed for food, man, and y'all come with food. So, like,
it's overwhelming.
I'm blown away, like, God literally just put a thought in our head like this to go and do something. We do it, and the first encounter we get, someone tells us, y'all read minds, man? I said, no, sir. I said, it was God, man. I said, he just told us to come down here, man, and we were obedient. We come down, so.
It begins to be a routine.
So we started out doing like 25, 35 plates, and then we went to 50 plates. Then we went to 100 plates. Then we went to 150 plates. So it was like.
It was in our routine.
We would fix these plates, go downtown, and we would like ride around because, down in Mobile, we have homeless people, which every state has homeless people, but they're like scattered. So we would just ride stop, you know, give out plays. It might be a group of 5, might be a group of 10, but we will ride to, you know,
until they're all gone, basically.
Until the plates are completely gone. But while that was happening, you know, I was working. Wife kind of wasn't working at the moment. So, you know, and she's always worked while, you know, while we were younger. She was really like, she started working before I ever started working. So she was getting frustrated, like, you know, I want to work. Like, and I was like, baby, like, we got 2 more kids. Like, yeah, she ended up having the baby in her parents' house.
Which I asked to be an at-home mom.
Years ago. So I was like, babe, I said, you need to just start, like, writing things down that you like to do, you know, like, you're a talented person. So, like, I feel like I didn't want to tell her what to do, but I was like, you know, my mind, I feel like you're an entrepreneur. Like, I just don't feel like it's meant for you to work for anyone. So I was like, but if you feel that way, you know, fill your applications out and stuff. Fill the applications out. Jobs she qualified for, never call, never get an email. I mean, nothing. And some way or another, the Lord blesses her with her own t-shirt business. So she begins to do t-shirts. And mind you, we have no social media at all. We have no social media, no Facebook, no Instagram, no nothing. TikTok, no nothing. We I know it sounds crazy, but we have none of that. But she began to get all kind of work, you know, like I would run across people just talking about, you know, shirts, and I'm like, dang, like, hey, my wife do t-shirts, you know, whatever you need done, she could do it for you. So we began to get work like that with the t-shirts. So I was like, man, like this is amazing. Like, even though, you know, we still in debt, you know, we still in debt, bills piling up.
But God is just saying, continue to feed at this point. Just use what you got and just continue to just feed people.
So we, even while we behind on bills, all of that stuff, we would sacrifice, you know, boom, feed people.
Take our 3 kids with us.
Take the kids with us, feed people, you know, showing them, you know, how to put others' needs before your own. And it's just been mind-blowing, like, the stuff that has been happening. Like, I'm lost for words. Like, it's mind-blowing. Like, you know, most people want to wait for things to line up, want to wait for things to be perfect before they actually step out and do what God called them to do. But God gave us, like, the strength. He gave us the wisdom.
The drive, the passion.
To even continue to keep doing what he's called us to do, even while we are still in bondage. And, you know, Lord's will, this video will reach someone, whether it's one person or 1 million. But if we could reach one person with this video to let you know, in spite of your situation, in spite of things not lining up, do what God's calling you to do. Like,
even when it doesn't make sense.
That's
because
just
it's not gonna make sense.
That's just like right now. we started the nonprofit with the feeding. We start the nonprofit. You know, we're in this apartment. The apartment is not bad, but you know, it's not the best. The apartment we were staying in when we were getting evicted was like a brand new apartment. And this apartment it's old, but you know, it'll do. But like your average person would say, you know what, like, I want to do all this stuff, but I need a new place. I need a new this. I need a new that. And then God began to tell us, I want y'all to believe for a building for your organization. Why we need a home? It doesn't make sense. Like, you're gonna ask us to believe for a building
For other people.
before we ever get a house. So we're like, you know what? Doesn't make sense, but a lot of things God does doesn't make sense. So we start believing, we start believing for a building, you know, and guess what? We receive the building down in our spirit. We see it. We see it, but it hadn't manifested yet. But the moral of us telling you that is continue to do what God is calling you to do. Continue to do what God's calling you to do. You know, right now, we still just standing in agreement on a lot of things, even in the midst of things not lining up. And you got anything?
I'm still sort of nervous, but I mean, to be honest, it's really just been a journey, and it's been challenging. It's had its ups and downs, but looking back, I wouldn't change anything about it. It's mind-blowing. It reminds us of something off of a movie. And we're in the month of December, 2 days away from January, 1 day away from January, and it's like, even within the last 2 weeks, it seems like God has done something every day that has just blown our minds. And now, like, when we go back and go to that same folder that we kept from 4 years ago, we can mark off more than at least 5 things that he gave us way back then that have already been, I don't want to say completed, but have already taken place. And going into 2021, we're just getting ourselves prepared for the other doors that he's going to have open for us. And we've been getting some amazing news. So hopefully in our next video, we'll share that with you. And we just hope and pray that whoever needs to see this video runs across it and it blesses you like he's been blessing us. And that's all I have to say.
And this year, every year is a good year. Every day is a good day. You know, the good Lord gives us another chance at life, give us another chance at the things we want to see in life. But this year has been, in spite of the global pandemic, in spite of everything that's been going on in 2020, I've been hearing people say, you know, I'm ready for 2021, and it's December 31st. Who knows what God could do between the 31st and the 1st. So just keep believing in God, man. Keep God first. Be thankful for everything. Be thankful for life. Don't get caught up in things so much. Don't get caught up in material things and money.
Or what you see someone else have on social media, because it's really not what you think it is. And at the same time, God has something especially for you. So just be grateful for what you have, because even though we went through what we went through, It's people out here that are going through way worse. And only other thing I can say is just be patient, because that's something that you'll need to really pray about God to help you to be patient, because it's not gonna just, for some people it might look like, okay, it happened overnight, but sometimes God will literally make you wait, not because he doesn't want to give it to you, but because he wants to see how long will you be patient and still know that he's going to do what he said.
So, man, we thank y'all. And like I said before, whether the video reaches one person or whatever, Lord's will, it touches your heart, give you that drive, and motivate you to stick with the person that you're with. You know, a lot of people would have turned and walked away, because when you're married, you're in a relationship, it does get hard, when it's no income, your cars are taken away, your kids need things. Stick with that person, don't just walk away. When you could stand strong through adversity, when you can stand strong through stuff like that, it actually helps build each individual character. Like, it actually helps. Like, she could have walked away from this years ago, and the things that God is doing in our life right now, we'd have never saw it. We'd have never saw it. It's some things that he still have planned for us right now that we believe in, standing in agreement about. But we thank y'all, and like I said, I hope it reaches who it's supposed to reach. We love you, and God bless you. We are the Dailey family. Peace out.